here, we can definitely refer to your blog, to your social media presence. So I encourage everyone to follow Yves because he's constantly online. He is sharing wisdom from his experiences as well as industry news and industry articles. So please follow Yves. I'm a big fan. LinkedIn, Twitter, somewhere else, Yves, you want to send our audience to?
Well, like you said, LinkedIn, Twitter, 7wdata.be, which is my blog, and on YouTube as well, the 7W Data channel. These are all the places where people can find me online.
Perfect. All right. So to me, nowadays, the most interesting topic for me, and again, I'm sure you have your feet wet in it as well, generative AI. All right, generative. So are you playing with ChatGPT, or do you think businesses will leverage ChatGPT functionality to the fullest soon? Because the growth is tremendous, right? The number of users, number of students, number of teachers, number of all kind of professionals. So what's your take on ChatGPT and other generative technologies?
Yeah, I would call it more in the generative AI space and the large language models, where I see definitely there are different ways where it helps us in becoming a better human. For example, I'm using ChatGPT to do copywriting because I'm not such a good writer, and it helps me in a certain way. But still, I look at the outputs and then I judge for myself with this how I would write it in such a way. That's one take on it. It's a different way of learning as well. Before you had an issue and you say, I want to know about something about gardening. How do I treat my law? And then you go and search on Google. You find a lot of publicity online, and it's very hard to judge which is the right information that helps you in solving that problem. If you ask that question to ChatGPT, you get into a kind of conversational aspect, and you're learning from in a different way than you do that from search results. And I think the contextualization of all the information is there, and the way how you engage with content, that's a different way how you can take benefit from ChatGPT and large language models. Other examples, what I've seen is as well vendors that are building data management solutions and build a data warehouse or a data lake in a simple way. I call it like that, a data platform where all the business information is upon. They have a ChatGPT enabled conversation as well. So they apply the large language model on top of all the business information. And you can ask, for example, which are my most profitable customers? Which geography is for me the most interested geography where I should do business? And in a few minutes, you get the answers. And that's really amazing how you can get all that information value out of all your data just by applying the large language models on top of all the information what you already have. And definitely, I think there is a bright future for generative AI, large language models, but we have to be very careful. Just recently, the other day, I read an article, and now I finally understood why they want to put the brake on the development for AI for the time being. Because AI will allow us to be more productive, will allow us to produce at a lower cost. It will, for example, allow companies in the petro industry to even get more fuel out of the earth. So the resources from earth will become even more scarcer. So all that economics around that, having even a harder stress on the resources what we have available on earth at a lower cost, our consumption will rise. So I don't have to draw a picture with that will stress our complete economy systems, as well as the scarce resources what we do have available. And now I finally understood where everybody is so afraid of going at the speed as AI is developing right now, and by putting a bit the brake on it and just reflecting of what the impact will be by using AI and becoming more productive, doing it at even higher scale. And this is really the risk what is now by the speed of development of AI and large language models.
We're definitely living through fantastic, revolutionary, overused word though. Times where I can only compare it to the early phases of internet or even Google. Remember how we used to search and when Google came up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this changes everything. So yes, with caution, with lots of limitations and just understanding where we're going with it, but we woke up in different world, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think the biggest change here is the speed at which we do it. We always keep referring other people or referring back to the days when Ford invented the productivity, the way of how to produce cars. In the beginning, it was one person or a team of people that built one car, and he introduced just the belly and the production way of creating cars. And he was able to, I think, in 1 minute and a half, he could get a 40 out of the factory. So that was already a big scale compared to how it was done before. And if you look at AI and how that is going, it's at an even a higher scale that we can increase productivity in these days. So that's, I think, that's on top of where we are, and I think in a very unbalanced world what we are right now, that's the big risk what we're looking against.